Well, welcome back. It's still Newsweek, where we discuss the biggest stories that made the headlines in the week. This week, embattled national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Iyorchia Ayu, stepped aside from office earlier in the week. Ayu's decision was in obedience to an order of the Benue State High Court in Makurdi, issued on Monday, which asked him to stop parading himself as PDP national chairman. Consequently, the Deputy National Chairman, North Ambassador Leah Damagun, has stepped in to take over as the party's acting national chairman. The party reversed the suspension of former Senate President Pius Saim, former Ekiti State Governor Ayu Fayose, and former Katsina State Governor Ibrahim Shema from the party. It also lifted the suspension on two other members, Dennis Itiavia from Benue State and Aslam Aliyu from Zamfara State. The referral of the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, to 8 disciplinary committee has now been reversed. A statement by the spokesperson of the PDP, Depo Ologunambar, said the party took the decision at the meeting of the National Working Committee, where recent developments in the party were extensively discussed. I still have Olufemi Lawson in the studio and Olushola Jegede to dissect this topic. I'm coming to you, Olufemi Lawson. What do you think of this whole reversal of suspension, especially as the new acting vice chairman or chairman of the party emerged? What do you think of the whole reversal?
Well, one would expect that having come out with what the party came out with in the election, the loss of the election due to the series of crises that engulfed the party before the election, the party will sit back, reassess itself, and begin to work together as a party, because the current development is just another phase in the series of the unending crisis that is engulfing the PDP. It looks so much like the party has not learned from its mistake. The party has not also learned from how, in the past, political parties have found themselves in such circumstances, have ended imploding within itself, and it is not going to be limited at losing elections. There are further consequences that will definitely follow this, because if you look at how fast the fortune of the PDP is degenerating, then you want to be concerned about why, even for the period that it had to resolve this crisis prior to the election, it couldn't. And even after the election, the crisis seems to be unending. Now we are beginning to see suspension, reversal suspension. A lot of agitations are still going on within. Senator Iyorchia Ayu has gone to court. So it is not ending at stepping aside because of the Benue State High Court order. He has also gone to court to challenge that decision. So it looks like the party is not ready to sit together and properly reconcile and move forward as it is. So we may still have more scenarios unveiling itself as far as the crisis within the PDP is concerned. I don't think we have seen any end to it yet, the way it looks.
Of course, with the idea of the G5 governors, do you think without the issue of this G5 governor, the party would have done better during this election? Of course,
there's every possibility for a political party to do better when there are more hands working together, especially when you look at our political history. What happened to PDP similarly happened in 2014, when a group of governors, some members of the National Assembly, former governors, walked out of the party to support the then All Progressives Congress. It was one of the major contributors to the loss of their sitting president, who was a candidate of the party in 2015 presidential election. So the history seems to have repeated itself, even though a lot of people want to discard the fact that G5 didn't make so much of impact on the eventual outcome of the election for the PDP. But the truth is that it would have been better for the party to have gone into that election more united, especially with the caliber of governors that are fighting against the party's leadership in that election, rather than the way it went into the election, thereby giving the kind of result the party got.
What do you think the future holds for the party in the face of these whole issues, multitude issues facing the party? What do you think the future holds for them?
Well, there's not no other way for the party to move forward, in my own opinion, other than stakeholders within the party, if it is still interested in governing, not even at federal level. And if you look at the crisis, it has gone deeper into fractions within the states. If you go to Rivers, if you go to some other states where the party is deeply polarized. So in moving forward, I think the party must begin to look at how it has fared since this crisis began and how it can work together if it's really interested in playing the role of the opposition, which it may likely play in the next coming years. Again, then it has to be a united front. You cannot play the role of an opposition where you have opposition within yourself, even as a political party. So the PDP has a lot of work to do.
All right.